I was wrong about this week's live weekly event on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. The video I recently put out just last week, all around the TTRS live weekly event, I said this is going to likely break the game. I was wrong. It's broke me instead. I knew this was going to end up happening. Trying to challenge myself and trying to challenge that leaderboard. God, it's left me down a big hole. Today, we're going to focus on one very specific race in the TTRS, and it's going to be the Green Ring, that 3-lap race that we've got 100% asphalt in the TTRS with a max RP of 550. Now the leaderboard's been absolutely huge. GR Percuvius, Asa Yunon up at the top there. I'm down in 19th place with a 3-minute 48.50. That's the only time I've set on the leaderboard so far, with a lap time of 1 minute and 14. Some interesting names around us: Smithy MC and Christoph Estevez, some of the guys that watch the channel. Fantastic to see. But like I mentioned, GR Percuvius, Asa Yunon, 3-minute 35, 3-minute 37, Ballin with a 3-minute 38. Lap times of 1 minute 10 and 1 minute 11. They guys are finding time I can't simply find in the Gaming Warlord. Let's just put a little report in about this guy, obviously using some form of bug, cheat or exploit. No lap time and 7-second race time. Interesting. Report that guy. Let's get rid of the cheats. Also using an Alpine in an Audi race. What the hell's going on there? But yeah, the focus I've got today, I want to try and claim this leaderboard. I at least want to get into the top 5 here. Now, the tune I kind of have set up for this one, it's a grip tune. And I'll kind of walk through it here. The downforce isn't actually right here. There's 7 more downforce on a grip tune than what I've got set right here. But this has obviously been the build I've used for the Audi TTRS for quite some time. Just going to have a quick walkthrough, make sure everything is as it should be, nice and stiff, nice and stable on the road. It's kind of how I set these Audi, the Audi TT up here is for max grip essentially. But my thought process here is, what kind of lap time am I doing consistently and where can I improve it? Is it all down to the tune? Is it how I've got the car built? So we're going to go out, give it a first attempt. See if we can improve on that 3-minute 49 that we previously set. There's obviously time left on this, on these laps, this race specifically. We just got to find that time and where is it coming from. So yeah, we'll launch it off the line. We know we're going to outdrag the rest of the AI here. It's not going to be an issue whatsoever. But the first few corners here, is this where I'm losing the time? First lap, first corner, always feels quite good. But as we come through these next few corners, it feels like we're scrubbing off a hell of a lot of time. Putting too much load through these standard road tyres that we've got fitted to this. Is that where we're losing time? You know, losing 100 miles per hour coming around that corner is going to be detrimental to the time that we do set on the leaderboard. And as we come down here, we know time and time again that we were out braking ourselves, running wide, and I'd still argue that we've just ran wide coming around that corner. The question then begs, do we cut this hairpin or do we come down and try and make a good clean attempt of coming round it, or are we quicker just cutting that one short? All of these factors are going to add up on top of one another to decide whether or not we can actually get a better lap time on the board. Climbing up this hill specifically, the Audi just feels to die out around about the 90 miles per hour mark on the tune that I've kind of got built. So is there room for improvement there? Coming around this right-hander, the back end stepping out, getting a little bit unsettled. Are we losing time there? And as we come up this hill, where's the right time to change gear? Is it pushing up towards 94 miles per hour, or do we want a little of a short shift there to try and use the torque of the TT to pull us through? All of these things, these are what go through my head when I do these races. I want to try and be as competitive as I can. Coming around the first right-hander there, we can see we actually dropped down to 57 miles per hour. And it feels like that was far too slow. Then when we come in through this right-hander, I've kind of learned that, you know, we don't want to be as tight as we are here. We want to open that steering up so much quicker to obviously get the car accelerating. You know, it's the law of physics. More resistance, the less speed you're going to have. Open up the steering, you're going to get more speed quicker. Then of course we come back to that hairpin once again. Are we just as quick coming down to the hairpin? And the thought process I've got here is, well, you're getting a longer run uphill, so you're going to maybe gather more speed. You guys can let me know, have you been cutting that hairpin, or are you going all the way to the end to use the essential extra space there to gather more speed as we come up here with a little cut across the track? Once again, round a right-hander. Are we a bit cleaner this time out? We certainly are. Getting ourselves up into third gear to try and push ourselves up the hill a little bit further. Again, nice and tight onto that left-hander. Stretch it across the road. Open up the steering, trying to get the power down. As we push on to the third lap, 2 minutes 34, for me it still feels slow. I want to be about the 2 minute 30 mark, crossing into lap number 3. We're a lot quicker around turn 1, that time 65 miles per hour we managed to hold, so we are starting to make improvements here. But it just feels like I've got too much focus on grip for this tune. Now I kind of said it during the first recordings when this live event dropped, that I feel that this is all going to be focused towards power. We want as much power as we can here, and focusing the build on grip, well, you're sacrificing power for grip. So we're maybe going to have to go back here, revisit the drawing board, reanalyse the way we've got this thing set up and the parts that are fitted to it, and come back and try and tackle that leaderboard one more time. I want to try and get into the top 5. I would love to break the 2 minutes 40, but if I could even break the 2 minutes 43, that would get me, that's enough to get me essentially up into the top 5, and I think that's going to be the task for today. One last time there, we'll cross over that little shortcut we've got there. We already know that is by far and away the quickest way across that little bit. Push up the hill one last time to cross the start finish line, again open the steering up for that corner. What kind of time can we set? Can we improve on the previous effort, the first effort that we did here on the green ring? Well, heading over to the leaderboard, we can in fact see we did not improve. If we did, it was marginal. We're still down at 3 minutes and 48 seconds. So like I say, we're going to head on over and I'm going to analyse the parts we've got fitted here. I'm actually going to take everything off of this and rebuild the TTRS for the 550 RP level. Stripping all this back as much as we can, taking gearbox tunes, everything off of it, make sure we've got the correct suspension set up here, then we can start to look at what's fitted to it. Now, turbo was the initial thought I had here. Enough torque to pull us up the hill. Having, you know, the anti-lag turbo may be the best way of doing this. Then we look towards the gearbox. The gearbox in Audi TT is already fantastic, but getting that quick shift is maybe going to be the way forward. But looking at the turbo setup, is that anti-lag turbo actually doing enough for us, or should we down-tune this a little bit? Already we're at 477 horsepower, but taking it down to the powerful turbo, 473, it gives us RP to start adding parts to the car. Like we can see, the likes of our pistons. Do we do spark plugs? We don't. We've got an air filter fitted to this one. So some power upgrades, up to 513 horsepower this time out. And like I mentioned there, we're now focusing this towards power. And I have changed the tune, and I will share it after this race. But having more power and less grip, is that going to be the way to improve our time? Essentially, we've got about 5, maybe 7 seconds to make up here to get us up into 5th place on the leaderboard. It is going to be an interesting change-up. Is power greater than grip on a track race? It is going to be interesting. Let's get into the race though. We're a hell of a lot quicker around turn 1 and turn 2 already. That's to be expected. We've got more power underneath us. And like I mentioned, coming into this turn, try to open that steering up a lot more. And we can see we're already coming out of that corner, 110 towards 130 miles per hour. Far quicker than what we were previously. Maybe not making the best efforts of that left-hander there, but when it does come down to the hairpin, I'm still adamant that cutting that one short, a bit of a power slide to push us up the hill, is the quicker way. Like we've seen, I've tried going down to the hairpin, I've tried cutting it short, relatively similar times. For me, I just feel quicker cutting that hairpin short. But as we push uphill here once again, with more power underneath us, where we're not stuck down at 89 and 90 miles per hour, we're up to 95 to 97 miles per hour. And that there is going to eat up a lot of that time that we are missing. And again, as we push up the hill on the first time of the last race here, as we come over that little crest, push ourselves up into 4th gear, cross the start finish line. Our target should be a low minute, 1 minute 17, and that's where we are, 1 minute 17.16 into turn 1, carrying a lot more speed. We do drop down lower than 60 miles per hour, but that may be the way forward as it sets us up better for turn 2. We want to be nice and quick around this one, again straighten that steering up and keep it open as much as we possibly can. Maybe even straighten up a couple of times mid-corner so we can exit there around about 110 miles per hour, head downhill and hopefully make a better attempt of this left-hander, which we will certainly do. That there felt very clean and very quick around it this time out. Now once again, a little bit of a knee brake, power over and push this thing up the hill. For me, it does feel the quickest way of getting around that one. Again guys, do let me know, are you quicker going to the hairpin or are you quicker cutting it short? It would be fantastic to see what it is you guys are doing to get that lap speed. Push up the hill on the second lap here, cut across that one. We can save so much time cutting across that corner, round the right-hander, opening the steering once again so we can try and get as much speed as we can as we do push uphill, nice and tight into the left side, again open that steering up, all the way over to the other side of the track, up into 4th gear again, cross that start finish line where we're sub 2 minute 30. Now just on the last race we did, I said anything around about the low 2 minutes 30 would be fantastic. 2 minutes 29.81. We're below where I wanted to be, so far it feels like we are putting together a relatively good lap, or couple of laps so far. One last time, let's get one last lap knocked out here. Can we improve? Can we get 5th place on the leaderboard? Can we break 2 minutes 40 or even 2 minutes 43? That is my target for this one. And we make a mess of that left-hander. We've sacrificed a fair bit of time there. That's going to hurt us towards the end of this race. I'm not sure. I don't even know at this point. I cannot remember what the lap time was we set, so it's going to be as much a surprise for me as it is for you guys. But it feels like that left-hander losing the back end, that's going to hurt us quite a lot when we do come to the start-finish line one last time. Pushing uphill, we know what's coming, cut across the corner, get ourselves set up for the right-hander here, into 3rd gear, bang it down into 2nd, using that gearbox to bring us round the corner a lot cleaner, back up into 3rd as we push up this hill one very last time, nice and tight, open up the steering, up into 4th gear, head for that start finish line. What kind of time do we do? Do we meet our goal, our target for this one? We do. 3 minutes 42.99. We do get into the top 5. I know it says 6th place, but 1st place is quite clearly a cheating time. I do get into the top 5. That was my target. I don't break 2 minutes 40. I really wanted to do that, but I did break 2 minutes 43. I have managed to get up into the top 5. I cannot stress to you guys how long I spent playing with the car, putting the tune together, changing the parts, whether it was power, whether it was taking the weight out. I must have spent at least 4 hours in game doing this one to get a 3 minute 42. Yes, there's 4 times on the lap, 4 lap times on the board quicker than I. That's perfectly fine. I'm not here to be the quickest. I'm just here to challenge myself, and this is something I urge everybody to do in game. Use these events to your advantage. Challenge yourself as much as you can. Tune the car. Play about with the parts. Play about with your setup. Everything that's there. Challenge yourself to improve on the leaderboard. That's exactly what I'm doing. It's why I still love this game as much as I truly do. The Audi TTRS, we knew it was going to be a make or break weekend essentially. We're going to be elated with what we've got, or it's going to break the game with all the times that are going to come through. For me, it broke me personally, all that time spent to get a 3 minute 42. But how did we get there? What kind of tune did we put together? Well, we went full degen here. We went from the final gear ratio for maximum acceleration, then the gearbox I went for max speed. It was, I don't know how we came to this. It just felt the perfect balance here, and it pulled the car up the hill, taking all of the downforce on, a lack of resistance. That gave us a 3 second 0 to 60, 513 horsepower at 1440 kilos. Again, the setup relatively similar to what I have usually. The difference here with the handling, I've opened those diffs completely up. It was a little bit more lady, but I've opened those ones fully up, and also upping the tyre pressures. All of that kind of tuning that we spent doing over the weekend, well, it did manage to help me make, what, 5, 6, 7 seconds over that race. That's what I want to be doing in this game. That's what I enjoy doing, challenging myself to be better, to climb that leaderboard. Yes, it wasn't 1st place. I don't know how GR Percuvi has done that time. Asa Yunon with a fantastic time, and obviously Ballin with a fantastic time. How you guys done it, I do not know. I don't know where there's another 5 or 6 seconds to make up in that lap. Maybe it's the tune. Maybe it's the build, or maybe you're simply just a better driver. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more updates on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.